I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Oh, hey, solo show right now. Just waiting on Uncle Carlo. Welcome to Covers His Puck Props with not 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. Like I said, he'll be around in a bit. He's on a conference call, and he's going to be coming in hot. Toronto game beat us up last night. Somehow managed to just lose 0.6 units. Despite that, Granlund out. The Lund line banged up. Lots of things moving. Right? Yeah, it's silly. And we're getting right to it. So remember, NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. We got to find a new angle here. I might try to stack some assists today, but I'm not going to put them out there. I'll fall on the sword if it's an absolute awful edge, but there could be something going. Everybody there in the chat, don't be freeloaders. Don't be freeloaders, as we say. Without Carlo, I can't even talk. So beat up. Like, comment, subscribe. Especially that like button. I want to see the likes up there. Happy Thursday. Let's go. Stack blocks. Not stacking too much today. You should see my card today without them. It is funny. I got anytime goals. I got a tie. I got some weird stuff. I have to adapt to betting hockey differently today. We'll see how it goes. We'll wait for Uncle Carlo to jump on here. Matthew Nyes. Couldn't stack him. Took a shot to the head. Egregious from Zach Whitecloud. I don't care what you say. That's a hit to the head. And our buddy Michael Granlund got hit by the bear, Ilya Lyubushkin. He could be out too. That's it, Big Mike. And I know there's lots of Andy people out here, Andy Francis people as well. You got to move. You can't just stay on the same thing. People complaining that stacks are done in a lot of places. They should be. They should be moved. And that's, as bettors, you gotta move. You gotta adjust. You gotta adapt. So let's get going here. First game, just like yesterday. Might be overdoing it in this one game, but I just like this Colorado game. I think, and once Carlo jumps back on, I'm going to discuss one of my favorite edges. So Colorado, Washington. Washington's plus 120. Over under sitting at 6.5. Obviously, Ovi is out. And since the last time these two teams saw each other, which was last week, I believe that was the first game Val Nichushkin came back. Jonathan Drouin has stepped back in. But, let's be honest here. At the price, what was the price? Washington was plus 146 in Colorado last week. And we're talking about just an adjustment of 25 points. Ovi's not a 25-point player on the money line. The difference between Drouin and Ovechkin towards the money line, not 25 points. I have to go Washington money line. And if you've been watching the show recently, one of my favorite angles is teams facing adversity. Face adversity well in the first game. Things might get a little looser in the second game, but the first game you will get their best effort. And I think that's what we get out of Washington. Now, let's be honest. I love Ovi. I was betting Ovi heavily. Got him MVP. Got him in the Rocket. But I think Ovi is his success was more team-driven than Ovi individual success this year. I think, look at last year. Team wasn't very great. His numbers weren't very great. Team's a little better. They have some more depth. They have the McMichael line, and they're getting good goaltending. And he's a product of a good team. So I don't think Washington just falls off a cliff in this spot. So we're on Washington money line. Two great over teams. Love them. Over 6.5. Give it to me. Minus 105. While we're there, we're taking a point on each side. Jonathan Drouin replaces Arturi Lehkonen on that power play one. Colorado. He's skating with Nathan MacKinnon on every one of his shifts. And he's minus 105. Doesn't make any sense. And we usually see this with the slew of wingers who come in and out of this lineup. When they come in, priced around this. And where did they end up? Right where Lehkonen is now, about minus 160. So this is going to shorten up about 50 points with this roll. Should be minus 155, minus 160, minus 165 point there. We're taking it. And then McMichael, minus 125. Still no adjustment. This could be the number one line running. I mean, the line now is Strome, Mangiapane, and Protas. There's my Protas.
Hey, buddy. What's up, man?
How are you, pal?
Sorry for coming in late.
Coming in hot. That's all right.
Coming in hot, yes.
Colorado, Washington. I was just getting to my point, and it's one of my favorite betting angles, my objective betting angles. Ovi's out. Locker room's different. First game. You just played Colorado. You got a big game. Does Washington step up more in the first game without Ovi than, say, games 2 and 3? Kind of a trend we see with teams facing their best stars injured or they're out.
I think we have two great examples of that already this season, when Edmonton had to play their first couple games without McDavid, and when Toronto had to play, or has been playing, 7 games now without Austin Matthews. So I think that's an incredible angle that you just brought up with Washington. And you'd have to think, and we had Ryan Strome on my show last week when they were playing right before they played the Leafs, and he talked about how Ovi this year has brought like a rejuvenation to the group, because not only with his incredible start that he's gone off to in the chase, but just as a 39-year-old bringing the energy that he's bringing to the rink and the way they're winning games. Now, without him in the lineup, you got to think that, okay, guys, we got to play this one out for Ovi, who, and I saw the other day, he's only missed 39 games in his career from injury.
And I don't know if you've ever played fantasy, like fantasy with hits. The guy is like number 5 every year in hits thrown.
Yeah. So
I'd
have to think that they're playing with that do it for Ovi mentality tonight.
Yeah, and that might wear off down the run, but I still think this is a great Washington team that continues to be undervalued. And I was saying before you came in that Ovi was the juice pumper, but I think there's still plenty of juice to be pumped in Washington.
I don't think created a new phrase. Hey, that's awesome. The juice pumper.
But I think Ovi is more a product of Washington playing better hockey than Washington being better with Ovi playing better. You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
So I don't think it falls off a cliff.
Perfect way to put it. Yeah, it's a perfect way to put it. And, we didn't catch our McMichael prop the other night, even though they scored what? Didn't they score 5 goals? 6. 6, even worse. And I kept looking at him like, okay, McMichael, you know how you're slowing down or you're scrolling down your screen, you're going slow because you want to read the name. Then you don't read, like, oh, damn it.
Oh, you don't got to tell me about the slow scrolls. I invented the slow scrolls. Buddy, on the NHL app, my face scroll for the goal, right? I got to wait for the picture on the goal. And like, oh, I know that hair, right? When you see a Granlund point, when you see that blonde hair, you're like, oh
man, we missed the Granlund point yesterday. Or no, it was the Zetterlund point. It was the Zetterlund point.
Did you see him? We're going to get to it, but there's some things coming up there. And then Duran's jumping on the line, moved up to PP1, Lehkonen down to PP2. He's minus 105 for a point, playing with McKinnon.
Oh, wow.
Minus 105, yeah.
Okay.
And McMichael's still minus 125 for a point. He could see an increase in minutes. So
100% he's going to, yeah.
All right, sure. Florida, Chicago. Sometimes I just got to go homegrown. And Jason Dickinson, you're like, who? Doesn't have any points. Former first-round pick. Guelph Storm. Mem Cup winner. World Junior winner. Georgetown guy. 2 goals. 2 goals, bud.
They're going to plus 400
Halton Hills Hurricanes action at you, bud.
Wow.
Did you ever play in that AAA loop growing up?
Not with the Halton Hurricanes. We would play them in like tournaments and stuff.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. But he had 2 goals on the Bedsy line. I mean, it's criminal that he's playing with Bedard and Joey Anderson on that top line.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a price play. He's plus 500 for a goal.
Wow.
He's playing with Bedard.
And who's Chicago playing?
Florida, but at Chicago.
Okay, so home game.
Yeah, that's it. So they'll get the good shifts, right? I wouldn't do this on the
Right.
road. But
Right.
plus 500 is plus 500. It should be like plus 375. If it's not a very probable bet, but it's a bet on price. The more probable bet, seeing it in the chat, our guy, I've been waiting to hit him because I expect him to jump back on that top line, but he's not. But Ryan Donato over 2.5 shots on goal plus 115. Obviously the price has come down, but I was surprised to see this guy, Ryan Donato as a centerman, played more minutes than any other player in the lineup in their last game, the 3-2 loss, I believe, to Anaheim. He played over 20 minutes. How do you play more minutes than any of your defensemen?
Yeah, that's a good call. I don't know.
I don't know, but the minutes are there and the shots are there.
Is he playing defense? Maybe
he might be, but he's 7-1 to the over, and team high. Like I said, 21 minutes of ice time. So that's where that one is. Nothing crazy to look at. We mentioned Bedard. I mean, the noise is getting louder. What is he? 20?
20 games now, 3 goals.
Yeah. How do you think that affects a guy like how old is he? He's 20, right?
I think he's 19.
19, 20, okay.
I'll look it up quickly.
Where was your pressure at 19, 20? Like in a hockey career. Like
it's not even comparable because these guys come in. He is 19 years old. These guys come in now as 18-year-olds and they're being spoon-fed. They're given the keys to the organization, the keys to the city. At 19 years old back in my day, you were given nothing, man. You had to earn everything that you got, and you were lucky to start in the NHL right away. You'd have to go, grind out a couple of years in the minors. So there's really no comparable for me and him. But looking at his struggles right now, I think, what I think young players underappreciate is, you come into the NHL as an 18-year-old and you get a lot of things handed to you, including opportunity and money. But what you forget is that, I've always said this, the easy thing for a top NHL prospect is getting to the NHL because you'll always get an opportunity to see if you can play. The hardest thing is staying in the NHL because you've got to prove, every day and every year that you're going to make the adjustments you need to do to stay above the guys that you should be staying above and, earning the profile or the potential that people have in you. And I think for Connor Bedard, like I'm not giving up on the guy, but I think what he's going through is he's understanding that every team that he plays against now, as a rookie, people are like, okay, let this guy do his thing. But now you go into a pre-scout and his name and number is circled on the board because guys are saying he's a key guy we got to eliminate. So what he's realizing is that the NHL is a hard league now. It's a hard league for everybody to survive and to have success in. And it's up to him to make the necessary adjustments to stay above that curve.
Landscaper Bob, big fan. Donato 4+ shots on goal, plus 295. He's actually 5-2 to the over on that in that 7-game stretch. Speaking, sometimes I just go off the rails here, Carlo. If I'm going too far with the question, please let me know. So he went into that locker room at 18, right? Locker rooms are different now. Your first door open to the Leafs locker room was like vet town, right? Like solid 800 game player vets in that locker room, correct?
Yeah.
Dude, no one was even close to your age.
No, the next oldest guy when I started out with the Maple Leafs was 27 years old. I was a 19-year-old.
So here's my question to you. Not a lot, doesn't have anything to do with hockey. Eyes up the whole time in the locker room, right? Straight eye contact with the old folks. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Did you peek? Yeah. Did you peek early or no?
No,
you didn't peek early, eh?
No, I was always the last guy.
Oh, geez. It's good.
The rookie, as a rookie, you knew your role, man. You couldn't do anything first. Come on.
No, I meant down. Take a look at the boys.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
but like when I go into the shower areas, it's like I've got to be the last guy to go in there, so I'm not staring at anything. No.
There you go. Okay, good. Yeah. Move the curtains back. People don't know this about locker rooms. Yeah, Mick saying PP watch.
Yeah.
PP watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
PP scout is what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. Scouting power plays.
Yeah. Matt Sundin sitting in the corner talking about that Rook. Did that Rook really give you a good look down there in the shower?
Stop
it. All right. We move on. We get off the Bedsy watch and we're just going to hit some stuff with some moving pieces. Islanders, Detroit. It will probably finish. It will probably be a tie game 2-2. I'm not betting that, obviously, but Vlad Tarasenko jumps up to the top line with Raymond and Larkin. He is plus 130 for a point. He has assists in 4 straight. I don't think it's priced in. There's nothing really exciting about either of these teams. I actually hate both of these teams right now because they don't score a lot. And I really don't have anything else to add other than just, here you go, Tarasenko up to PP1. And more exciting one, San Jose, St. Louis. Alex Wenberg for a point is plus 140. I don't know if you saw the Lyubushkin hit on our boy Michael Granlund.
Yeah, I know, not good.
That was not good. Like the puck was kind of squirting away. Like it was a tough one. It was a headshot, and it's back-to-back games. You don't want to speculate, but like he's probably more doubtful than probable today, right?
Well, if he left the game because of potential, well, he left the game because of a spotter, which means there was a potential for some sort of head injury. I don't want to say concussion, but head injury. The back-to-back, you'd have to think it'd be a miracle if he'd play tonight.
Yep. And they don't, there's no need for them to rush him back to the lineup. He's their best center. He's their best skater, their best point producer. Take a break. And then Alex Wenberg jumps up because Macklin Celebrini, they're probably going to keep that Will Smith, Celebrini, and Goudreau line together because they play PP2 together as well. So then all of a sudden, Wenberg, who was already on power play 1, now gets to play with Zetterlund and Eklund, and that whole line correlates for a point. But plus 140 for center 1 and PP1 versus St. Louis, who is in the second game back of getting that boost in the locker room with Ryan Thomas back. Are we still high on San Jose in this spot? I mean, do they get a bounce back? You mean you lose your number 1 guy?
Yeah, I mean, again,
it's a price point. Like it's plus 140. It's not like we're paying any tax on it.
Right. I don't look at it as the back-to-back as something that we should be
worried about.
Worried about.
No, I think that's over. There's a good point. Do you think the back-to-back is overvalued now for what it is? These guys are.
It is, especially coming off of a loss too, right? Where you're coming in and you feel like you want to have a better effort in your second game. Did you say Ryan Thomas?
Yeah, Bob, Robert, get out of here, Ryan. Ryan Thomas. Thanks for keeping me on check, Tim, pal.
Yeah, Timmy,
enjoy the snow, bud.
No, I like. I mean, look, that line's been hot for us. I mean, especially with the stacks that you've put together, and should have had the stack last night too, with Zetterlund missing out. But there's a good opportunity for Wenberg, to fill that void, and there's like we just talked about with Ovechkin. I think Granlund would be viewed as San Jose's best player.
Yeah.
So San Jose's probably with the same mentality that it's another opportunity for another guy to step up, another guy to come into the lineup. Maybe there's a little bit more juice there maybe they need a little juice pumping going on right now.
Maybe Wenberg will be the pumper. Sure. No, but like it brings me to that point. I don't care what team it is, and let me know if I'm wrong here. Any opportunity is warranted. Any top line PP1, if you're giving me that price at even money or better, you probably almost have to take it. Everybody can score in the NHL given opportunities, no?
Yeah.
Does opportunity weigh more than skill sometimes?
Yes. Because I've always said, like, you could be the most skilled guy on the team, but if you're not getting an opportunity to show that skill, then what's the point in having it? So yes, I think you pointed it out perfectly. Opportunity is always going to outweigh skill, because even with a guy that's a different player, if he's getting that opportunity to play with better players and getting that opportunity and playing in different zones of the ice, his confidence is going to raise, which means he's going to have more opportunity to help be productive. And that opportunity might not last long, depending on, the leash that the coach maybe gives them for that opportunity. But most times, those are the angles that you want to focus on.
JPC fourth with the winning little message today. Alex Wenberg's new name is Alex Wenland. If he's playing on that line, I am referring to him solely as Alex Wenland today.
Alex Wenland. Love it.
Mr. Gerg in the house. Looking Zetterlund point.
Well, it's funny because last night when I got home, I was a late one last night because the game started at 7:30, and by the time I got home it was like just after 1:00. And I scrolled through the stack plays, and I'm like, oh, not so great of a night. And I saw the San Jose players. And I messaged you the other night saying, I lund you. I was trying to think of an angry way for me to say something referencing that line. I couldn't find one.
That's fine. When I send, I'll just air out our stuff today. I send Carlo the plays. I'm like, this is what we're doing early. I send him the full stack, and he goes, all losing picks. So I immediately know he had a rough night in stacking last night, and he's blaming you for it.
No, I don't blame you for anything, Buds, because the work you put in is winning enough for me. So
stop it. Yeah, it's winning
it
enough.
Is.
I don't care if I lose every bet.
Well, no, because you're doing a lot of the work. I'm just the guy taking advantage of the great work you put in, and so is everybody else in this chat.
You also talk for 4 hours straight every morning. That's fun.
Yes.
That's absolutely crazy when you think about it. Especially you get home at 1:00 and then you got to get ready for your 6:00 show.
This morning was rough.
You got a hell of a strong voice to get through that. And then the final one, because I'm absolutely on tilt because of all the sad stackness. Carolina, New Jersey. What are you doing, Josh? Maybe once every 4 months this comes out. Tie. Nothing cool. Carolina, New Jersey, tie. I wanted Carolina. They're even money. They're dogs. They played last night. But guess what? I know we don't value too much the back-to-back, but this is their 4th game in 6 days. They've allowed 3 goals in 3 games. It's been tight. But if you go back to the head-to-head, they're 8-2 to the head-to-head. But the 5 last games all have been separated by a goal, excluding empty netters, with 2 going to extra time. So I think if there's a game on the slate today that's a tie, 2-2 tie, maybe even 3-3, I think it's this one, even if Spencer Martin's in.
Well, it's a big game for New Jersey too. I mean, it's like we're 20 games in and we're talking about like division positions. Like Carolina right now is at 28 points and the Devils are at 26. So this is classified as a 4-point game, right?
Yeah.
Because for New Jersey, you want to get the win, and it's a favorable spot if you want to use back-to-back as the reason for it in the schedule. But if they want to keep pace with Carolina, they've got to find a way to win this game.
Carolina's a dirty team. Don't want to play.
I know, man. I know.
And the experience that team has is still wild, right? You're not going to outcoach them. You're probably not going to outgrind them on the bottom 6. They can score on the top. I mean, they're probably – let's be honest, they're probably a top 6 forward away from being a top 2 in my mind, right? Yeah. Jack Roslovic probably more suited for the second line, but Cheeseburger Eddie, appreciate it. Stackman and Assman paying for my kids' Christmas.
Oh,
I know. You know you're winning stack money when you don't care about the price for a dumb vacuum for your wife. Right? when you're losing, you're like,
you care.
$700 for a vacuum? That's silly. No, when you're winning.
So the ass man is John Metler, right? Is he on fire with his NBA picks?
Yeah, he's on right after us in 5 minutes with Adam and dropping plays. Yes, he is on fire. He's I don't tail a lot of guys, but I just there's his bet I tail. There's very few guys, but that's Canes with 3 games ahead. There's Rich H saying the 4-point game, but the Canes do have 3 games in hand. But we got to get going here because, yes, right after we got NBA releases with EV Analytics with John and Adam coming up right now. So let's do that quick recap. We are 4 plays on the Colorado game. That's the game I'm watching the most. Washington money line, Drouin point, over 6.5, and Connor McMichael for a point. And then some random shrapnel across the league. Jason Dickinson, anytime goal, plus 500. Donato, 3 shots, plus money. Tarasenko, point, plus 130. Alex Wendland is his new name. He is plus 140 for the man, hopefully taking over Granlund's spot. But that's where we are. Thursday in the books. I'm stacking asses. I'm stacking assists today. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you who I'm betting on. I don't care. I'm going to take the loss. I'm going to take the heavy loss today. I'll report back tomorrow. There's a lot of games. I'll see how it goes. But if you don't hear from me, I'm probably sitting at home eating ice chips because it could be a losing night. But let's leave it at that.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
What, eating ice chips?
No, losing.
Oh, losing. Oh, I thought it said something terrible. You're like, God, no, losing. All right. Let's leave it. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Ciao.